Can you do something more about better coverage, especially during late night? I've had several issues where only one deputy was available, myself, on several occasions. But is this an isolated incident, or is this something you can do more about? Or is it just a matter of like crimes are not as prevalent, so therefore you have a limited amount of deputies, or how do you see that?
It's a tough question,
It is.
and it's
Yeah.
a very broad question, and I will tell you from a national level down to a state level down to a county level that recruiting has really become a major issue for law enforcement. It's a national epidemic, finding people that want to be a police officer and want to be deputies. It's not like it was when I started.
Yeah.
When I started, I'd have worked for a whole lot less than $4.20 an hour.
Right.
I've just been happy to have a job
Right.
in law enforcement. I
Mm.
was so wanting to do that job, and it's not like that now. Recruitment has become a big issue for us. Now I know those shifts you're talking about, where there's one guy on duty or maybe two guys at the most there, and you have to look at what's happening in law enforcement and recruiting people. I will tell you this. Chief Hoskinson, that works for me, my chief deputy there, and a couple of the other guys have made significant efforts in recruiting people, and we're now at a higher level than we were back in 2021 with deputies.
Okay.
I have 23 sworn officers there at the sheriff's office today. I'm the 23rd one. In addition to that, not in addition to that, of those 23 people, I have three of them that are assigned to work the three courts that I mentioned earlier, juvenile, municipal
Right.
court, and common police court right here. Since that renovation started with the courthouse, the courts all moved to different locations, and everybody wanted a deputy there to be security at their door.
Right.
And I get that. It's just that we couldn't control those three locations like we could the one, so I had to hire people for that. Our county commissioners bent over backwards to help us do that. They give me money to do that, to go hire these people, and we hired them full time. So whenever they get dismissed from their court duties, and some guys get done, 9 or 10, 11 o'clock, or in the afternoon, we put them out on the road, serve the papers for the court, that number two priority I told you, or that number one priority I told you about.
Right.
So we use them to do prison transport. We use them to transport prisoners. So I have them three. Well, whenever they decided to move us out of the jail, the old building at 110, that left nobody there to watch the prisoners. So I had to hire people in that place too. I've got 6 people obligated to taking care of courthouse security and to do the jail, to be there present when there's inmates there. Now they're not there all day, but again, they're running people back and forth, taking them, walking them down to those courts if they have to, or making sure the probation officer gets help getting them out. So I've got a considerable amount of staff tied up doing that in the daytime. And that's why it looks like there's so many people on day shift. If you walk in that office up there anytime between 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, you're probably going to see 7 or 8 deputies running around. Think, my God, well, they all doing working day shift.
Right.
They don't realize that they have other areas of responsibility as well. I hadn't got there yet. I have 23 people right there. We've got a new schedule out right now that will have 2 and 3 officers on almost every day of the week throughout the 24-hour period right there, including those people there that are on those other duties right there. So I've got staff there now that a staff level now that's comparable to what we had a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And our commissioners again have been very helpful with that. They bought them 5 new cruisers that are coming here. We ought to be here by the end of the year, hopefully, to replace some of the others we've got. We've got newer people we've hired, and I feel pretty comfortable now with the level of service that we have out there. I can't tell you they're going to get to them within a minute or two like they can in some of these villages or cities or bigger places, but a reasonable amount of time
Mm-hmm.
it takes. And then again, if you call for somebody and they don't show up until the next morning, you better be calling and let me know.
Right.
And ask them what happened. 9 times out of 10, the answer's right there in black and white on the log. They got tied up on a priority call that they had to go to, or they were transporting somebody back and forth to jail. So I'm not using those as excuses, but those things do happen and delay that response time. So even if I had 4 or 5 guys out there to shift, there's still going to be some delays in calls. Our goal is to have a supervisor on each shift, which we have now, and have at least 2 deputies under that sergeant out there working on those shifts. So
Okay.
hopefully that will speed it up. Because I remember the day when I was a young deputy and I was out there getting paid $4.20 an hour, didn't care at all about the pay. I'd be the only one on duty.
Is that what you got started out as?
Yeah. I
425?
was on that CETA program. They had a CETA federal program that was funded up there at the county. It was called CETA. I think it was $4.20 an hour.
You make me feel old when you say that, because I started my first job at like $5.75 an hour.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
We start guys out now up there, depending upon what experience they bring with them, but at least around $20-some an hour.
Yeah. That's pretty decent for around here. So
But
yeah.
we still run into that issue of guys being recruited to other agencies that pay more money yet.
Right.
We can't compete with some of these.
I've seen where the state has really amped up their advertising aggressively.
Yeah, they are in the same issue the Highway Patrol is that we are. In fact, the other morning on Fox News, I listened to 4-star General Randy George. He's the U.S. Chief of Staff for the military, right? And he talked in depth about the recruitment issues that the U.S. government's going through to recruit people to be soldiers. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wait to get in the Army when I went.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had 2 kids of my own that were interested in joining. One, unfortunately, went through an injury that took a few years to get through, but so he wasn't able to join. But my youngest, he's shown strong interest in being a police officer, but some interest in joining the Army as well. But as a parent, I'm like, I want to say, no, don't do it, because you love your kids, but
I joined an Army.
But I never push my bias like that on my kids, because if they want to do something, who am I to say, oh, you shouldn't enjoy life, But yeah, but they're welcome to.